Hey guys, welcome back. So hopefully you've watched part 2 of my Netflix videos. I say part 2 because I have already got a part 1. So if you haven't seen part 1 from a few years ago, I'll put that in the description below. So if there's anything you think, oh, you've not spoken about, it might be because I've already mentioned it in a previous video. So we are back with the final part of my Netflix recommendations for now. I could probably make loads of these in the future because I'm always watching TV. So let's just go straight in. And the one on the list this time is, again, it's a comedy and it's called Unbreakable, Kimmy Schmidt. I don't think I've mentioned this. I feel like, have I mentioned this in a video? But I don't think it was out when I'd already filmed that video. But this is about a group of women that get abducted and put in like a shelter underground type thing, a bunker, that's the word I'm looking for. A bunker underground, and they're underground for years. So I think it must be like 20 years, 25 years. And then they all get found and the guy is like took away. So they all come out from the bunker, and because they were abducted when they were teenagers, everything is brand new to them. So it's all about, it focuses on this one girl called Kimmy. And she gets this apartment and moves in with this guy called Titus, who's like amazing. He's like the best character. And she's learning all about new things, and it's like the technology's obviously developed, the way people live's changed. So she's sort of going about her day-to-day life, but actually people are sort of staring at her and being like, why are you being like this? And it's just a comedy. It's hard to explain, but it's a comedy about her finding herself again, getting over what's happened, and understanding how life has moved on and changed and adapting to that. So that's like a cool comedy. It is quite popular from what I've seen, but it has completely finished now, so there's no sort of like series coming soon or anything. But the way it ended, I think they did like a full hour long episode for the last episode, because the episodes are only like 25 minutes usually. So like they did a full hour for the last episode as like a special, and it just shows you sort of what happens to everybody in the end, and it's one of the best endings to a comedy series. So yeah, I would recommend to go and try that out. Right, the next one, so in the last video I talked about End of the Effing World. This one is made by the same people, and it's called I Am Not Okay With This. So again, it's sort of like the same sort of directing, camera work, colour work. So it was something that I was really excited for. It's about a girl that's discovers she's got superpowers, but she doesn't know how to control them. It's a bit strange, like it started off a bit slow, but then towards the end it got really, really good. The way season 1 ended, I am so ready for season 2. So that again is just a short series that you could invest your time in. I don't really want to talk too much about this one again, because it's kind of like, if I say too much it'll give the plot away. So a documentary again, but this one's a nice one. It's not a crime one. It's called Babies, and it's about the development of babies, and I love watching these sort of things as well, like from crime to babies. I just love learning about children's development and different things. Like I did child development for my GCSEs at school, because it's like my job is working with children, so I find watching these things really interesting, and I feel like I can improve my knowledge and stuff like that. So there's 4 episodes. I've still got the last episode to watch, but there's an episode on food, crawling, words, and another episode, but there's 4, and it's just different. So it focuses on people all over the world, so it'll go from a shot in the UK to a shot in America to maybe a shot in Australia, like different people around the world with their newborn babies and their development, and it just talks to you about what they should be doing, if it's normal to be doing this, that sort of thing. It's just interesting. Might not be for everybody, but that's on my list just because it's really something I'm interested in. But if you are interested in it, then great, go watch it. Alright, the next one is a reality show, which again is quite rare for Netflix to do a reality show, but you probably know which reality show I'm going to talk about because everybody was talking about it, and it's Love is Blind. This show, it's one of them where it's so cringy and so bad, it's so good you can't stop watching type of documentary type of reality show. It's about people that It's kind of like Blind Date meets Married at First Sight / Love Island. That's how I can describe it, because there's a group of men and there's a group of women. So the women can see each other in their little room, and the men can, but the women and men can't see each other. So they go into like a pod, and they all go on sort of like speed dates, and they say, right, what's your name? How old are you? What are you interested in? What are you looking for? And they have like a few hours where they just sit and talk to each other, and they go around and decide like, oh, this one's a good match for me, this one isn't. And then eventually they have to ask them to marry them. And I think it was like someone got engaged like 4 days in, and you think 4 days, that's a bit soon to be saying to somebody that you want to marry them. But that's the whole idea of the show. And then eventually everybody gets coupled up, and then they go to a holiday resort type thing. I can't remember where they went. It looked amazing wherever they went. And then they have like a time where they're in a holiday together and see how they get on. And then eventually they move into this little flat that they get given to them, and it sort of tests their relationship a little bit. And then they meet the parents and so on. And then by the end they have the wedding, but not everyone says they want to marry them, and it's just like, will they, won't they? And it kind of keeps you hooked all the way through. And then right at the end they do a reunion. So what's everyone up to now? Who's still married? Who has got someone new? That type of thing. So it was really addictive. Like, me and my mum and my dad really enjoyed this show. So it's just, yeah, they're doing another season, and I think they've been told they're doing season 2 and 3, which is going to be amazing. Next one is a drama, and it's called Safe. So this is a Harlan Coben drama, and it's, again, it was so long since I watched it, but I remember how hooking and brilliant it was. It's about somebody that's been murdered, and they have to find out who's done it, and they go around looking for clues and sort of sometimes in an episode where they pinpoint it and you think, oh, it could be them, oh no, now it could be them. So it's one of those type of things. And at the ending I was again amazed. Like, I didn't guess the ending, and so I thought the ending was really good, because it was unpredictable, and I like it when it's unpredictable, because sometimes I think this show is too predictable and I don't like it. So yeah, Safe is the next one. The next one that I'm going to talk about, again, I don't think I've seen a show being talked about on Twitter, on Facebook, on the internet as much as this documentary, and it's Tiger King. Like, this documentary, when I first started watching it, I was like, what even is this about? It didn't make any sense. It still doesn't really make a lot of sense. Like, I'm on the last episode and I'm still like, I don't even get what's happening. All I know is that there's Joe Exotic, Carol Baskin, that are like enemies, don't like each other. Joe Exotic has lots of tigers. Carol Baskin has been investigated for killing her ex-husband, and then Joe Exotic's just been arrested for being someone who's asked someone to kill Carol. So it's all very weird, because I was like, I thought it was about a guy that owned a tiger place, zoo thing, but there's so many cringy things in it. It's just funny in places, and it shouldn't be. But he also makes country music, and he has a mullet. So I was just like, this guy thinks he's Billy Ray Cyrus. Like, really thinks he's Billy Ray Cyrus. And it's just, yeah, some of the things that come out of this documentary is shocking, weird, funny, and just unbelievable. I think it's just, this is a must watch. Like, I have been saying to people, have you seen Tiger King? You really need to watch this documentary. And people are like, yeah, but it doesn't look that interesting. I was like, yeah, I thought that too until I started watching, and now I can't stop watching. Like, there's this guy that has like 8 wives in it. He's with these men, and then the men leave because they're not actually gay, but and then he marries someone else 2 months after someone's died. It's honestly the wackiest thing I've ever watched. I watch a lot of TV, I watch a lot of documentaries, I watch a lot of adult comedies. This is nothing compared. This racks my brain. I watch it before I go to bed, and I'm just like, what on earth was that? So yeah, Tiger King is one you should really watch, because it will keep you entertained, and addicted. Like, it will give you that thing of, I want to watch what's happening next. And they're actually making another episode, which is coming out next week, I think. So that'll be interesting, to say the least. Right, another cartoon now that I've recently discovered. It's called Paradise PD. I was just sort of scrolling through Netflix because while we're in quarantine, I don't want to say that too loud, I was looking for something to keep me occupied while I can't really do much. And it's a cop show. So it's a comedy cop show about these policemen, really, and it's just episodes of them going and sorting things out. But the guy that's a policeman has a lot of mishaps and stuff. So again, I'm not really selling that, but I've literally only watched about 3 episodes, so it's something that I've only just recently discovered. It seems pretty good so far. Like, the dogs in it are really strange, but again, it's more adult themed, so if you're a bit younger, it's not something you should be watching, because it's got a lot of drug related things in it as well. So that's just a warning that it is adult themed, but it is really funny and just easy to have on. I like those programs that are easy to have on sometimes, so I don't have to do too much intense concentrating. Okay, we've got 3 left, and the next 2 are really sort of like deep documentaries. So the next one is The Trials of Gabriel Fernandez, and this was a really hard watch because it's about child abuse and how Gabriel went through this child abuse, and the social system in America just passed it off as nothing and didn't do anything to help the kid. And it was awful because it showed you all the injuries that he had, all the things that he said to like his teacher. Like, his teacher rung up the social services, as you would as a children's educator, and they didn't like get back to her. They didn't do anything, and this teacher's living with this guilt because she thinks she could have done more to help, which, you know, she couldn't. So as someone who works in this job, I totally get like how she feels, because if I had to do that and then that happened, I would never forgive myself either. So I could really sort of feel for her. And it's just annoying that he got he was living with his 2 uncles, and then apparently something came up in the social services that they weren't looking after him properly, and he got taken to his mum and his stepdad, and then it ended up where he was just abused and died from it, and he was only, I think, 7 or 8, and it's just horrible. So again, if it's something that's going to make you upset and not be able to watch, I wouldn't recommend watching it, because you've really got to be able to sit through it and like watch it properly. I mean, it was upsetting, it was horrible. And hearing some of the things in court where the stepdad just didn't show any sort of concern or remorse for what he'd done was awful, like horrible. Like that little boy did not ask for any of that. He was writing cards saying he just wanted his mum to love him and things like that, and it just breaks your heart. It was awful. And luckily the stepdad got put on death row at the end, which was really, really like relieved. I was relieved to see that result, because there was this one guy in the jury that kept saying that, oh, he deserves a second chance and I don't believe in the death penalty. Like, look, I'm not someone that would be like, yeah, I believe in the death penalty, but for people that do that to kids, give them the death penalty because they killed somebody. Why should they still be alive and living their life when that child didn't even have much of a start in life? So I was really happy with that result. And then his mum got like life in prison because she didn't actually kill him, but she knew what was going on and did abuse him at times. The next one, again, is a crime one, and it's a weird one. It's the Aaron Hernandez story, and I didn't know who Aaron Hernandez was because obviously we don't have American football over here, so he was just, I just thought it was another guy that had done a crime. But then looking into it, he was this really famous American footballer and everyone looked up to him, and it was odd because it didn't really actually wrap anything up. It was just like, did he kill this guy? And there were these tapes happening, and he'd gone to this guy's house and supposedly killed him, and nothing got wrapped up because he ended up committing suicide in prison. So like half of it wasn't solved, so it kind of just ended because they couldn't do anything else with it. So we don't actually know if he was guilty, if he was not guilty, and who killed this guy and all this stuff. So it was a very short series, really. It was only 4 episodes, so unfortunately they couldn't have done any more with it because he died. But again, that was sad in a way, because he left his girlfriend and daughter on the outside world, and his daughter was only about 2. So, and it's just one of those things that I think prison does to a lot of men, is that they feel like they've lost that control and that power, and they just end their lives because they don't want to live like that. So that was that, and I feel like it was, yeah, we could have found out more, as in they could have investigated a little bit more. But when you've not got the guy there to sort of speak up and defend himself, there isn't really much you can do. And I'm going to end on a happier note, because those last 2 were quite morbid. But one I've really been getting into is the IT crowd, and this has been going for a long time over here. Currently doesn't like run new series anymore, but it's on TV a lot, and I used to see it on TV and be like, oh, I don't understand this sort of comedy, it's not really for me. And then coming back sort of 10 years on, I just love it. It's so funny. I love Richard Ayoade and Chris O'Dowd. Like, they're the main guys in it, and then Catherine Parkinson is the main woman. And there's just so many funny things in it, and the timing is amazing. It's just about them working in an IT department, fixing things. And then they're just so odd. It's kind of like the In-Betweeners, but like an IT crowd version, where they just get themselves into stupid situations, they don't know how to act, and they just make themselves look silly. So yeah, they're my Netflix recommendations, part 3. I really hope you enjoyed this, and yeah, I hope I'm not too awkward, because I was looking back at some of my old videos and I'm just like cringing. So I'm trying not to be too awkward and things, but I'm also not used to sitting down and filming, so yeah. Anyway, if you did, give it a thumbs up, don't forget to subscribe. Hopefully I'll see you in the next few days, because I've got a few ideas up my sleeve. So thanks for watching, bye.